Integration and Employment with his entire team here today to discuss about Gambia's trade policies, also discuss investment opportunities, employment opportunities, particularly for young people, but also regional integration. They've done quite a lot as a ministry. The sector has been booming, has been transformed under the leadership of Honorable Babucarr Joof, who is the minister for this particular sector. Honorable Minister, welcome you and your entire team. We thank you for accepting our invitation, and we are looking forward to very brilliant discussions today. As usual, the Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services is mandated to ensure that the public is informed with what government is doing, government achievements, government programs, government projects, but also government challenges. But at the same time, we are also mandated to bring to government what the public is thinking, what their concerns are, but also what their challenges and demands are. So we are the link between the public and the government. His Excellency the President has emphasized that he doesn't want any misinformation to be passed to the public. So our role is to provide proactive information, countering disinformation and misinformation. One of the initiatives we took is the Mansa Kunda, the Ministerial Town Hall, to bring government officials, particularly ministers and their entire sector staff, to interface with the public, and they can discuss. So the public is aware and is informed about what the particular sectors are doing, but also the sectors can answer questions that the public might deem to be very important questions, raising concerns as well. So today is going to be very interesting, and we are looking forward to the discussions. We will start with the Minister of Trade to come and give a 15-20 minutes presentation about the ministry's achievements, projects and programs. Then we will introduce members of the high table, his entire team. I'll give them 4 or 5 minutes to introduce themselves, their designation, but also their role in their functions in the sector. Mbadingol mbal tentula mbal jela mbal kontona bake fang mbal nimbarala mbal jala bi nyim Mansa Kunda mi alon ko bi ngol sodo jang nadun tambadu ngamin sodo bi ka fay Honorable Babucarr Joof atalo ministre mi alon ka tele marta din kerala mi alon ko lo ministre ka fa milbe mararing jula kuola aning kaje ko bankol mi alon ko wolbe Africa jang ika jula ko ke nyaadi le aning do kubunda fanang surtout funding kala do kubunda telo ministre mi maral wol bela wodon ba jela bake fa me molbe kontonna milbe jambi mi alon ko bata Mansa Kunda surtout mi alon ko telo bata Minister of Trade aning Minister of Information journalist milbe jambi mbadingol mi alon ko wolbe gambe deng aning bantal bankon kang eben jube kang na media partner sola television balto bedum katabe dialale akumada bake bawo julo mo kulta akumada atel ka kodo fi na bankon kang nga minister be jiajanne agriculture transport, higher education, ngebe diajane. Ba ni bela do ko naja soniata. Jula kole tamata fo kodo siduno bankon kan. Oto bi ministry min nada jambe ministry ko mari mbalon. Konka faale nya Ministry of Information tolla do ko na hamo wolon kaje ko fiyo kana tara Mansa Kunda ni banko dingol tema. Fengo fami alon ko Mansa Kunda bato so manda fo suto tili wolum banko dingol nyanta ka londe. Mansa Kunda fana nyanta ka banko dingol la wasiyo moyle ka long monela sola fengolti aning monela hajoti wala tan tol ministry ko kun kake nka tamandi wala kan kaje ko ngam Mansa Kunda finang enim banko dingol le kacha barka bandiko banko dingol fanam finang yela wasi fo Mansa Kunda ba Mansa Kunda miya sindi wolon kajo ka banko dingol la hajol jara wodo nimo hajol ngita jaranola wala nan kanyi formal organize pour banko dingol sina isa kacha enim Mansa Kunda ka fu ibe mona kuto aning lafta banko ita manyame woto Honorable Minister, mbe jiala bake fang na nyim pura moto mi anka fa Mansa Kunda Ministerial Town Hall ngalom bi katabe diala bake mba commencer la dameng dung mbe minister kumandila ay minute mwang kacha anim banku dingol apa banku dingole ala ministry abata mandi kan nyaadi la nimbodaje anim millalon ko ani wol ala do kunyo anim mbe silo kan e fanan sitol fonye ani be mon do kusi falla ministry nyinto ni o bodaje fanan sinanga bundayele isaje banku dingol mi alon ko wolle bi jang anim bantala banku kan isini karoke ministre na la timo sajara mbokay di len nuyu di len dalal bu baaxa baax ci Mansa Kunda bi té nak amna solo bu baaxa baax parce que té am nañ ko xamné ministre bu mun liggéey am la parce que buñ ko joxé ministre bi ak légui def na lu bari li nga xamné askan bi war nañ ko xam ministre bi nag Mouhamadou Babucarr Ousmaila Joof moom moo amee ministre bi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo yore mbiri jula mbiri jokkalante biir Afrique fii mooy regional integration surtout Afrique saw jant fii ak li nga xam ne mooy mbiri xëy surtout xëy ndaw yi ñëpp xam nañ ne xëy lu am solo la parce que nit ñi suñ liggéeyut duñ mën a yor seen boppa kon ministre bu mu amee am na solo bu baax a baax moo tax tey ñu ngi ko dalal moom ak timam bi yëpp ñi mu àndal ñi nga xam ne ñooy naataangoom ñi moo liggéeyal suñ paree nañ ko jox moom ñaari fukki minute mu ñu waxtaan ak askan bi su paree ñu jox ko ñi mu àndal ñu wax ñu ñoom ñooy kan ak lu ñu liggéey si ministre bi su ko defee ñu ibbi line si ku am laajte bi nga xam ne moom nga bëgg a laajte ministre bi nga laaj ko moom tamit moo timam mi ñu tontu la ñun nag Ministry of Information suñ liggéey moo ñu gis ne réero bu mu am diggante nguur ak askan bi lépp loo xam ne askan bi nag mu ngi koo joytu mu ngi koo xalaat mu ngi ko bëgg a mooy seen bébét nguur xam ko nguur tamit li nga bëgg mooy seen iine pour askan bi ak li ñoo liggéey ak fu ñoo teg seen tànka askan bi xam ko parce que nguur askan bi la moo liggéeyal kon ki laa jël liggéey mu ngi laa jox koom-koom di la jox xaal di la fay pour nga liggéeyal ko war ngaa ñëw wax ko si lan nga nekk su boobaa mun koo xam ndax yaa ngi def sa liggéey bu baax ndax defloo sa liggéey comme président Barrow His Excellency wax nañu ne bëggut réeroo am diggante nguur bi askan bi moo tax ñu am programme yoo xam ne mooy yii nii comme ministère Mansa Kunda bi ak press conference yi ñoo def kon tey dina am solo am na ministre boo xam ne mun na liggéeyam te buñ ko joxee ministre bi léegi def na jéego yu bari yoo xam ne tey secteur wu transform na waaye ñu bari xamuñ kon waaye tey lépp dina leer. Honorable Minister, we welcome you and we'll give you 20 minutes to make your presentation. Thank you.
But in English only.
Then after you, I'll give another 5 minutes. You summarize
in Syrian. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Hello, Gambia. In the hall here, I'm sure we have staff of the Ministry of Information, Media, and Broadcasting Services. And at Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration, and Employment, I think everyone is here. It is a pleasure being invited as a crucial, very critical ministry in this country's economic development to come and share with the public what we've been doing over the last couple of years. We thank Dr. Cisse, Honorable Minister, bilateral, regional, and multilateral investment cooperations to support the Gambia's development efforts. The ministry therefore coordinates regional integration issues as well as matters relating to regional and multilateral organizations such as Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, World Trade Organization, WTO, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, and International Labour Organization, ILO, and other trade-related multilateral and multinational organizations. To ensure the right policy environment to promote private sector development and create employment opportunities through trade and investment promotion, the ministry has developed and implemented a number of policies that are aligned with the National Development Plan, and these include the Gambia Trade Policy and Action Plan, the Gambia Trade Strategy and Industrial Policy, the Gambia Investment Policy, National Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise Policy, National Quality Policy, the National Employment Policy and Action Plan, the National Entrepreneurship Policy. In addition to these policies, MOTAI has also developed and is implementing the following key strategies: National Export Strategy 2021-2025, the Gambia AFCFTA National Implementation Strategy, the Domestic Trade Strategy, and the Private Sector Development Strategy. These policies, strategies, contribute to the development of the private sector priorities in the Recovery-Focused National Development Plan. We have therefore developed the Ministry's medium-term plan, 2025-2028, as our strategic document for the implementation of the RFNDP and the Ministry's policies and programs. The Ministry's directorates, departments, and agencies. The Ministry has the following directorates, departments, and agencies to support the implementation of its programs. We have 5 technical directorates, namely Directorate of Trade, Directorate of Industry, Investment and Enterprise, Directorate of Employment, Directorate of Regional Integration, and Directorate of Research and Policy Analysis. 2 departments, namely Department of Labor, Department of Weights and Measures. 3 agencies, namely Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, GIPA, the Gambia Standards Bureau, and the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. I'll go through each of those one by one. Directorate of Trade and Programs. The Directorate of Trade mainly is responsible for all matters related to development and implementation of trade programs at the Ministry. This is executed through activities and projects of the Directorate. Given that trade is a cross-cutting issue, the Directorate also collaborates with other stakeholders and sectors to support the implementation of the trade programs and activities. The following are the key areas of focus for the Trade Directorate: monitoring of stocks and price levels of essential commodities. The Directorate of Trade conducts weekly monitoring of stock and price levels of essential commodities. The objective of this exercise is to ensure that the Ministry has first-hand information on the stocks and the prices of these commodities at all times for timely and informed policy decision-making. These reports enable the Ministry to engage importers and other relevant stakeholders to avoid shortages and promote price stability. Trade negotiations. The Directorate of Trade also coordinates the Gambia's participation in bilateral, regional, continental, and multilateral trade negotiations. Through these negotiations, the Gambia has signed trade cooperation agreements with the Republic of Senegal, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry, to name a few. The Gambia is also effectively participating in the AFCFTA negotiations that the country signed on 21st March 2018 and became the 22nd member state to ratify the agreement, fulfilling the 22 member state trade threshold for ratifications required for the agreement to come into effect. To ensure that the Gambia maximizes the benefits from the AFCFTA, the Ministry has developed the AFCFTA National Implementation Strategy that identified the key priority sectors and products that we need to promote as a country to enhance participation in the AFCFTA. The Ministry has also established a National AFCFTA Implementation Committee to serve as a higher-level interministerial committee comprising MDAs, private sector, and civil society to support the Gambia's negotiations and implementation of the AFCFTA. Since last year, we have carried out intensive sensitization of stakeholders on AFCFTA, including Association of Gambian Manufacturers, women-owned and youth enterprises, media, Gambia Revenue Authority, customs officials, and key sectors of the economy. On She Trades Hub program, the Ministry, in partnership with the International Trade Center, is implementing a She Trades Hub in the Gambia to support women economic empowerment for enhanced participation in trade. Since the launch of the program in 2019, the Ministry is currently working with a total of 134 women-owned businesses. Under the program, the Ministry provides training on quality and packaging of products, Financial and digital literacy. Ministry supports the participation of sea trade companies in trade fairs, as well as provided equipment to improve their production capacities. On the Trade Logistics Charter, the ministry is working with key stakeholders in the logistics value chain to implement the Gambia Trade Logistics Charter, adopted and officially launched in November 2024. The charter is meant to support the government's policy measures and modernization programs aimed at facilitating trade through the port of Banjul and all other international trade routes in the Gambia. The charter has elaborated a detailed implementation framework and performance indicators to support the implementation of the programs. The Trade Logistics Council was officially inaugurated on the 20th of January 2025, and it is the overseer and monitor of the implementation of the Logistics Charter to help achieve its objectives. Development of e-commerce policy and strategy. The ministry, with support from the West African Regional Digital Integration Program, or Project WADIP, is also developing a comprehensive e-commerce policy and strategy to advance e-commerce and cross-border digital trade as part of its digital transformation agenda. This initiative aims to align with national ICT and trade policies, as well as regional and continental strategies. The policy, once completed, will contribute to enhancing the e-commerce policy environment for the development of e-commerce ecosystem in the Gambia. It will further support MSMEs' development and contribution to digital trade by reducing trade costs, enhancing the connectivity of businesses and consumers, facilitating trade, and enhancing value chain development. The Directorate of Regional Integration Programs. The Directorate of Regional Integration is responsible for the coordination of regional integration programs at the ministry. This directorate works with stakeholders to ensure that the Gambia fully participates and benefits from the regional integration process. The following key ECOWAS programs and activities are being implemented. The National Human Capital Development Strategy 2024-2030. The ministry has coordinated the formulation of a National Human Capital Development Strategy. The strategy, which has been aligned with both RFNDP and the ECOWAS Human Capital Development Strategy, is now completed. The ministry is working closely with MOHAST for the official launch of the strategy for implementation to commence. ECOWAS Cross-Border Cooperation Support Program. The ECOWAS Cross-Border Support Program is a multi-sectoral development program that works with local communities in border regions to ensure social cohesion and sustainable development among its member states. The construction of the LUMO in Wellingaraba started in 2023, and it's now completed and awaiting its official inauguration. The ministry intends to replicate this type of LUMO market infrastructure in other communities as part of the ministry's LUMO modernization program. A readiness assessment under this program was conducted for 27 LUMO markets across the country. The ministry has engaged GAMWorks to develop the design work of the LUMO market for the replication of the modern LUMO market infrastructure for the remaining 26 LUMO markets across the country. ECOWAS Fistula Program. The program in the Gambia is jointly implemented by MOTAI, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare. The program consists of 4 key components: surgical repair of women and girls suffering from obstetric fistula, the socio-economic reintegration of fistula survivors into their communities, the sensitization campaign to raise awareness on the causes and prevention of obstetric fistula, and the rehabilitation of national fistula referral centers. The rehabilitation of the referral centers in Buyam and Mansa Kunda are ongoing. Directorate of Industry and Investment Programs. The Directorate of Industry and Investment plays a crucial role in strengthening the Gambia's economic landscape. The focus of the Directorate is on supporting the development of micro, small, and medium enterprises, promoting investment policy environment, and supporting industrial growth through various initiatives and policy implementation. On MSME development, the Directorate has made significant progress in supporting the development of MSMEs to drive economic growth and job creation. The Directorate is developing a digital single-window business registration system to streamline business registration, making it more efficient and accessible for entrepreneurs. This initiative aims to simplify procedures and reduce barriers to business registration. The platform is already developed, and now the ministry is working with partners on testing the platform, data migration, and hosting issues. A business perception survey. A survey of business perception was also conducted recently to assess the challenges businesses face regarding regulatory frameworks. The findings are being used to refine policies, enhance business regulation, and improve the ease of doing business in the Gambia. Continuous engagement with key institutions is being strengthened to ensure a more coordinated approach to business regulation and support. A structured roadmap has been developed to facilitate collaboration and policy alignment. On the promotion and strengthening of the investment policy environment, the Directorate has undertaken key initiatives aimed at improving the Gambia's investment climate. The GAIPA Act 2015 is being reviewed to align the investment framework with current economic trends and investor needs. The process was supported by all the relevant MDAs in the Gambia, the IMF, the World Bank, UNCTAD, ODI, and the AFCFTA Secretariat. The ministry has also established a National Business Council to strengthen collaboration with the private sector and implement reform programs to improve the business environment. We are working to streamline regulations, expand international market access, and integrate digital governance tools to enhance investor confidence. We are also engaging key sectors to address challenges related to land management, taxation, and trade facilitation by providing the investment policy that is in line with the current realities. To be relevant and competitive in the international space, the ministry, through the guide and support from the World Bank, conducted a national assessment and preparation of the 2025 Be Ready survey. Business Ready is the World Bank's new flagship report benchmarking the business environment and investment climate in most economies worldwide. The report assesses the regulatory framework and the public services directed at firms and the efficiency with which regulatory frameworks and public services are combined in practice. With data that are comparable across economies and over time, the Business Ready provides actionable evidence to promote reforms for a stronger private sector through the following: reform advocacy, promote economic reforms, opening the door for knowledge sharing, policy dialogue for governments, civil society, including the private sector, the World Bank Group, and other development institutions. Policy advice, inform specific policy advice covering a wide spectrum of areas relevant to firms, markets, and showing how much economies lag behind in good practice. Development research, support social and economic research on drivers and consequences of private sector development. On industrial development, the ministry is committed to advancing industrialization as a key pillar of economic development. We have conducted a feasibility study for the establishment of a special economic zone along the Trans-Gambia corridor to explore opportunities for boosting manufacturing and trade. This initiative is expected to attract investors and stimulate industrial activities. As a national flagship project, the goal of the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone is to support the government of the Gambia's medium to long-term economic growth and sustainable development strategy, as well as position the Gambia to compete effectively in the wider Africa continental single marketplace. To this end, Government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, in partnership with National Roads Authority, got support from the African Development Bank and ECOWAS to conduct this feasibility study on setting up a trade corridor special economic zone. The outcome of the study is positive, with an internal real objective of the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone is the revival of river port traffic. The economic assessment study, the resulting master plan and corridor development investment plan for the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone has provided a sound platform to attract both public and private sector investment to guide the development of the entire Trans-Gambia Corridor, thus help achieve its full potential as another engine of growth for the Gambian economy and the sub-region. Given an open and liberalized marketplace, African economies with relative efficiencies of doing business, streamlined fiscal regime, the requisite trade logistics, and service delivery mechanisms in place to accommodate the expected surge in combined trade in goods and services within the continent, estimated to increase from 15% to 22% or higher, and as high as possibly 50% are likely to be benefits from this AFCFTA. Therefore, developing a trade logistics and special economic zone within the proposed 10-kilometer wide Trans-Gambia corridor will stretch 26 kilometers from Farafenni town or Kersuley, the Gambian border north, to Soma town, Misira, the Gambia's border south, in influence phase 1, 50 kilometers east to west span from the center line of the Trans-Gambia Highway, in influence phase 2, and 100 kilometers stretching from Buyam to Bakadaji in the final influence phase 3. The Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone will be linked with the port of Banjul, 130 kilometers downstream, with multimodal connectivity infrastructure services, inland river transportation, port facilities at Bambatenda, Yilitenda, improved trunk roads networks, North Bank and South Bank trunk roads, Senegambia Bridge, and a regional airstrip to transform the regional urban growth centers of the Farafenni and Soma as future metropolis, as economic engines for employment creation for the youth and the underemployed of this country. The ministry is thus working with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, to implement the country program. The UNIDO country program for the Gambia represents a crucial step towards fostering inclusion and sustainable industrial development, with the potential to drive economic growth, job creation, and improvements in infrastructure and social welfare. With the active participation of the government of the Gambia, UNIDO and strategic partners in this program are poised to address the nation's industrial challenges and help unlock its full economic potential. Several projects through WACOM, the West African Competition Program, have been initiated, including the construction of light testing laboratories, onion curing centers, packaging, and storage facilities. These projects enhance agribusiness development and improve food security and safety. Directorate of Employment and Labor Administration programs. The Directorate of Employment and the Department of Labor are responsible for strategic policies related to employment and labor administration. The Directorate directly works with the Department of Labor to ensure an effective labor administration in the labor market. Hence, the ministry has updated and strengthened the Labor Act 2023 to ensure effective and comprehensive approach to labor administration in the country. The following activities or programs are being implemented. National Employment Forum 2024, In 2024, the Directorate conducted the National Employment Forum with the objective to addressing challenges of unemployment, underemployment, and poverty in a bid to recommend sustainable employment creation opportunities for the increasing young population and challenges faced in the irregular pathways. Decentralization of job centers. The ministry also working through the Directorate of Employment and the Department of Labor to increase the regional presence of job centers across the country with technical assistance from IOM. 2 job centers have been inaugurated in KM and URR, while 3 additional centers in West Coast region, North Bank region, and LRR have been identified, and material and equipment have been procured by IOM to start them. We hope to fix the material and equipment in this quarter, and that will be followed by recruitment of officers to man the centers for its effective operation. The decentralization strategy is to ensure labor market information is available and associated services such as soft skill training, coaching, and counseling to job seekers are also easily accessible. Bilateral labor agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Ministry of Trade, Integration, or Industry, Regional Integration and Employment is also implementing the bilateral labor agreement signed with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on the recruitment of domestic workers. And this process, have I done 20 minutes? You are looking at your watch. He's continually looking at his watch, and I'm scared.
Done more than 20 minutes.
Sure?
Yes, of course. We are hitting 30 minutes now, is it?
Let me read faster. Okay, we can summarize. We just want to make sure we leave no detail behind. Okay, we are currently implementing, I can speak to the texts, they would kill me if I do that. 57 Gambians are currently in Saudi Arabia performing various duties. These are the unskilled labor recruits that we have dispatched, and we are hoping to graduate into the skilled labor and other aspects of the recruitment process. Memorandum of Understanding on the circular migration with the Kingdom of Spain. I'm sure there will be questions, and if I skip this one, you will ask me. The ministry is implementing this one. We have signed with the Kingdom of Spain, and as I speak to you, we have already summarized the forms that we received, which are in excess of 10,000, and we are engaging with the Kingdom of Spain through their embassy in Dakar to ensure we shortlist and eventually select the first cohort that will go to Spain in the pilot phase, and hoping that all will go well so that we move to stage 2, which will actually require larger numbers of recruits being transported to Spain under the agreement. The Gambia Standards Bureau. The mandate of the Gambia Standards Bureau is to stabilize or standardize methods, processes, and products produced or consumed in the Gambia and for connected matters. The Bureau therefore develops standards for goods and services, undertakes scientific and industrial metrology by calibration of measurement devices and maintaining the national measurement standards, performs inspection, testing, and certification as a third-party independent service provider. The key focus areas of the Bureau are standardization, metrology, conformity assessment, the provision of testing, inspection, and the certification of services. On standardization, the Bureau has developed more than 300 national standards on priority goods and services. These standards serve as basis for guaranteeing the safety and quality of most, if not all, the exported agricultural produce from the Gambia. In order to promote the use of published standards by stakeholders from both the public and private sector, the Bureau conducts regular capacity building training for these stakeholders. Training are also conducted for food processors, who are mainly MSMEs, on the requirements of key standards for safety and quality assurance of their facilities and the products. They are trained on the standards for good hygienic practices, packaging, and halal requirements. These trainings are also extended to restaurants and hotels. The flagship training the Bureau had been particularly focused on to augment the quality of both products and services is GAM ISO 900 or 9001 2015 Quality Management System Standards. The Bureau was able to achieve a national cadre of quality management system professionals at the highest level of competence. Lead auditor. This has greatly enhanced the provision of auditing and coaching on enterprises on this particular standard. On meteorology, Mr. Chairman, it will be a crime to leave the rest of the information behind, so we'll crave your indulgence to allow me to continue. Yes, on meteorology, the Gambia Standards Bureau established the National Meteorology Laboratory to ensure that the national measurement system is linked to the international measurement system. Prior to the setting up of this laboratory, the national measurement system was disconnected from the international measurement system. Since 2012, this lab had been conducting calibrations for enterprises in key economic sectors such as horticulture producers and exporters, hospitals, Gambia Civil Aviation, etc. The lab personnel also conduct a lot of sensitization and training of stakeholders on meteorology in general and good management practice. On conformity assessment services, the Bureau endeavored to develop testing services to fill the gap in testing in the country. To this end, the Bureau established a state-of-the-art national lighting testing laboratory for testing the quality of all types of lighting products, including those ones. This is an important contribution to realization of the national objective on energy efficiency and value for money on lighting products used in homes, industries, entertainment, airports, and health centers. On certification, the Bureau is in the final stages of realizing the objectives of making available a national certification body. This body is currently seeking accreditation so that the certificates it delivers to producers are recognized globally. Department of Weights and Measures. Weights and Measures Bureau was established primarily with a mandate to regulate weights and measures used in trade as per the Weights and Measures Act and the Weights and Measures rules. The objective is to ensure that measuring instruments maintain their accuracy levels according to specification in order to protect consumers from unfair trade practices. This mandate is executed through regular verification of instruments used in trade transactions, regular inspection of pre-packages, commodities, regular inspection of business facilities such as retail shops, supermarkets, warehouses, bakeries, petrol stations, and this regular verification of fuel dispensation pumps at fuel stations. The Ministry is also in the process of developing new legal meteorology bill 2024 to replace the Weights and Measures Act 1977. The bill was tabled at the National Assembly recently, has passed its first, second, and third reading. The bill broadens the scope of legal meteorology in the country to regulate measurements in trade, to also cover measuring devices used in health, safety, law enforcement, and environmental management. The Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission matters. The Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has made significant accomplishments in the enforcement of the Competition Act and administering the Consumer Protection Act. In 2024, the Commission obtained support from the Commonwealth Secretariat and is currently reviewing the two acts. The EU is also supporting the Commission to develop a merger regulation. This will enhance the capacity of the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to effectively enforce competition and protect consumers from unfair and misleading market practices by businesses. On the administration of consumer complaints, I'm sure the public will want to hear this. The Commission continues to promote and protect consumers from unfair and misleading market conduct and educate consumers on their rights and responsibilities. In the past 12 months alone, the GCCPC registered 68 consumer protection cases with a value of $4,780,880. More than 50% of these cases were all resolved through the GCCPC alternative dispute resolution mechanism. The ADR mechanism recovered $1.3 million for consumers. In December 2024, the GCCPC embarked on a nationwide tour across the regions in the country to sensitize consumers and businesses on their rights and responsibilities. And the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Programs. GAIPA is mandated to promote and facilitate investment promotion and develop exports and support the establishment and expansion of thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable. Let me take that again. GAIPA is mandated to promote and facilitate investment, promotion, and develop, export, and support the establishment and expansion of micro, small, and medium enterprises or medium-sized enterprises in the Gambia, as well as advocating for policy change towards improving the country's business environment. The agency has undertaken significant activities and achieved key targets within the past 12 months regarding investment promotion and facilitation, export promotion and facilitation, and support to MSMEs. The agency over the period has also been advocating for an effective business environment through direct engagement with policy and development actors across ministries, directorates, or departments and agencies. Key in its advocacy strides is the periodic tabling of concerns to the business community at the National Economic Council, chaired by His Excellency the President of the Republic, His Excellency Adam Barrow. On investment promotion and facilitation, Investment Incentive Awards Committee held 4 meetings during the course of 2024 and made recommendations for the approval of 9 manufacturing companies, 2 in agriculture, 2 in tourism, and 1 in other services projects with an estimated total investment value of $114 million and a planned employment for 2,455. On export and enterprise development, GAIPA provides support to MSMEs at various levels of the business life cycle through capacity building initiatives and training. The agency is currently developing a regulation for the operationalization of the Enterprise Development Fund to provide support to MSMEs. The draft regulation from the consultant was presented and approved by the board and reviewed and validated in December 2024 by stakeholders. Finally, I'm on the last page, Doctor. Through support from the Belgian Development Agency, Enabel, the construction of GAIPA's market platform in Genoa is now completed. The agency's Genoa market platform was handed over by Enabel and GAIPA to Tropingo Company Limited as the operator for the platform. The agency signed a contractual agreement with the company, who has already started installing equipment at the platform, and we expect the operator to commence operations very soon. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Summarize briefly 2-3 minutes about what you've listed.
Hope you are very, very serious about the serial one. I can do serial. In Wolof, okay. Ñu ngi nuyu mbokk yi di jégalu wax bi yàgg na kàddu bi gudda na waaye I can try. Li waral wax ju bari ji mooy dañu en bu diis. Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. So demee si yeneen réew ñeneenti ministre ñoo amee ñun liñ yore. So kon nag suñ taxawee pour jàkkaarloo ak réew mi waxtaan ak yéen wax leen li ñoo def dafa war a jël time. Moo tax li ma dog si kayit bi moo ëppal li ma wax. liñ fee def mooy pour ñu jéem koo tënka man nag duma Alaaji Modou Joof moom su fi ñëwoon xam naa dina ko def mu gën a régler waaye liñ bugg a wone rek mooy si wàllum njula ñun la nguur gi sas pour ñu ensure mooy ñu taxaw si ne diggante jula yi ñoomi neen mu ratax diggante jula yi ak nguur gi ñu am relationship bu ratax bu boobaa njula bi mun a jaar yoon ku jóg uti marchandise war a njëfandu si marché bi nga mun koo am si lu yomba njëlbeen bi mooy mu am soo soxlee maalo soo duggee si bitik fekk ko fa ñaareel bi mooy ñu gis ne liñ leen a feeku si bitik yi jaar na yoon loolu di nga si am ay xalaat yu utee waaye niñ see mun a def yépp ñu ngi koo def pour ensure ne loolu am na si wàllu développement pour yokkute industrie si réew boo dem moo dee liggéey ak private sector moo dee liggéey ak borom xaalis yi liggéey ak nguur gi moo tax ñun yenay dañu dee ooye ministry of private sector te ñu kontaan lool si loolu parce que ñun ñooy liggéey ak private sector bi benn Gambien si ak ñi dëkkut Gambia am seen alal jóg ñoo ne dañoo seet Gambien si liñ soxla ñu dugal seen alal si loolu Directorate of Industry ñoo leen di dalal ñoom ñoo dee liggéey ak GAIPA Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency pour dalal leen kayit yi ñu mun see jot kayit yi ñu soxla pour def fi njula wara pour defaree fi dara wara pour produce fi dara mooy béy fi dara mu meñña ñu jaay ko fi war a ñu génnee ko yóbbu ko bitim réew département boobu moo ko yore nga am beneen département boo xam ne jokkalante suñ diggante ak suñ dëkkandoor yi suñ diggante Sénégal suñ diggante Guinée Bissau suñ diggante Mali Guinée Conakry Sierra Leone fii ba Afrique yëpp daj ñun ñoo yore loolu te xam nga ne loolu tam beneen challenge la boo xam ne saa yi nekk ñu ngee toog ñu ne la am na troc yu càng fële am na lu xew fële ñu ngeen jóg régler loolu wax soo yooyu yëpp ñun ñoo ko yore boobu tam am na département yu nekk si loolu wàllu ensure ne nguur gi seen employment yëpp mu ngi amee public service waaye ñun ñoo amee wàllum régler employment labor matters ñun ñoo ko amee moo tax ñu am commission of labor foofu ñi jotee ak seen liggéeykat foofu la commission bi nekk pour àtte seen diggante suñ mënul si mbir mi dara ñu door koo jàllale si yeneen koot yi soo loolu itam ministre yi moo ko amee nga ñëw si yeneen yi soo ñëwee trade yi nga dut gis competition commission ak consumer protection agency ñun ñoo leen yore comme ni ñu yoree GAIPA ñun ñoo yore weights and measures soo demee si marché bi di jënda diwlin ñu gis ne dañ def sondeel si pot bi suma gars yi ñoo war a gis loolu jëflante ak waajooju di def loolu war a ndaw soosi di def loolu ñun ñoo yore tam standards bureau si njaay ak njëndante pot boobu sax standard la standards bureau ñooy ensure ne pot boobu dafa am nu mu war a toolu dafa war a am nu mu war a enu soo ko dugalee ci saaku maalo dafa war a am quantité bu mu war a génnee standard boobu standards bureau ñooy ensure ne loolu dafa am léegi ñu ngi ko bugg a yaatal mu dem ba si lopitaan yi si court case yi da ngeen a dégg ne jàpp nañ drugs dem nañ testi ko Dakar yooyu yëpp ñu ngi koo jéem a fanxa léegi because ñoom ñu ngi set up standards si labs yaa ngi ñu ngi leen a develop bu boobaa metrology bill bi ñoo yóbbu National Assembly daanaka pare na dinañu jox doole pour loolu yëpp ñu mun koo régler metrology boobu yëpp nañ ko mun a handul so kon lii ministre bu yaatu liggéeykat yi bariwuñ yaakaar nañ ne dinañ gën a am reinforcement waaye lii mooy mandate bi ñu jox docteur.
jërëjëf.
Thank you.
jërëjëf honorable minister Babucarr Ousmane Joof kaddu yi rafet nañ waxtaan bi neex na seen liggéey rafet na xam naa ne tey am na ñi nga xam ne te lu leen fi isi mooy pour ñam spin circular migration bi man sa apply na xaw ma la dina am ndax duma am waaye apply naa daal jox naa la suma application bi mbaa paas nga ko gars yi waaw baax na am na ñi nga xam ne tamit tey luñ laa bëgg a la mooy dund bi ñu bari ne dund bi cher na ndax cher na ndax cherul te dina leer lu tax mu cher ak yan pexe ngeen nekk di def pour ñu gis na du ngi wàññeeku te boobu tamit xam naa ñu bari fii waa Touré Kunda ak waa Camaracounda ñoom loolu rek moo leen fi isi tey parce que ñoom lu ñoo xalaat rek mooy lekka léegi lu ma def mooy sa naataango yi di ko commencé pièce man nag bëggatuma digga angale nag fu mu toll nii yéega na angale yu bari léegi pièce suma xarit bi Standards Bureau yéen ñëpp laaka boo leen gën a comfortable ngeen a laaka wañu seen tur naa la mee ko nekk parce que seen ministre jël na seen time bi yëpp fu mu toll nii time bi askan boobu lañ nekk di lekka nii naa la mee ko nekk 2-3 minutes max tur santa yow looy liggéey ak si ban kuréel nga nekk ak tuuti rek nga wax ñu askan bi waaw pièce ñu commencé ko yow thank you.
Assalamualaikum, man maa ngi tudd Mod Eke Seka man maa nekk permanent secretary si Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. Comme ni ko suma ministre waxee man suma responsibility mooy mbooloom programme ak policy yi nga xam ne mooy war a comme xalaat yi nga xam ne mooy war a doxal jula bi mbiri utal xale yi xëy ak yëpp ñun ñoo ko man suma responsibility la pour ma make sure ne loolu jaar na si yoon te yeneen département su nekk suma roon yëpp ñoom it loolu seen ñoom ñoo ma dimbale si loolu pour make sure ne loolu xew waxi ministre bi man li ma si bëggoon a yokk rek tuuti mooy am nañ benn projet boo xam ne projet bu ees la si ministre bi toll na si level boo xam ne fi mu nekk nii xalaat nañ ko ba pare moom announce na wax na result si study jàngat buñ doon jàngat si projet boobu waaye li ma si bëgg a wax rek mooy projet bi am na solo am solo boo xam ne Gambien si ñëpp ñoo si war a taxaw pour make sure ne mu xew mooy di special economic zone bi lu ko tax a jóg mooy dañoo dem boori Farafenni area ñu jël fa laan bu rëy def fa ay place dog ay place boo xam ne compagnie bu nekk soo bugg a ñëw Gambia nga liggéey fi yokka fi sa business wala nga bugg a yokka comme suñ gerte bi nga bugg a ko process def ko comme diwli nag yooyu anything lu nga xam ne dafa yokk value bi of li ñoo am ak product si ñoo li jaay ak jënd si dëkk bi di nga ko fa mën a defaree te loolu mooy li gën a am solo léegi fuñ toll si projet boobu mooy am nañ jàngat nañ ko ba pare fi mu nekk ni ñu ngi dem pour ut xaalis laan beeg yooyu noonu yëpp ñu ngi ko finalize su paree incha allah dina nekk njëriñ pour dëkk bi yëpp waaw.
Assalamualaikum askanu Gambia maa ngi leen di nuyu yéen ñëpp man maa ngi tudd Papa Seka man maa jiite mbootaay bi nga xam ne nguur gi mu ngi ko taxawal tuddee ko the Gambia Standards Bureau the Gambia Standards Bureau nag nguur gaa ngi ko taxawal 2010 bi nga xamee ne génne na luwa bi nga xam ne si la sukkandiku ba mun a taxaw mooy di Gambia Standards Bureau Act 2010 bureau bi nag mu ngi door liggéeyam 2011 si ak boobu noonu li nguur gi sas bureau bi ak li tax mu taxawal bureau bi mooy balaa 2010 bari woon na lu bari loo xam ne ñiy liggéey ci biir Gambia ñiy bay di jëmbat di ko jëfandikoo fii si réew mi wala di ko jaay bitim réew ak industrie yi nga xam ne ñu ngi taxaw ni ko honorable minister waxee pour dugal seen xaalis liggéey ay jumtuwaay yoo xam ne waa réew waa ko soxla wala ñu ko jaay bitim réew yooyu yëpp soxla woon neen li nga xam ne moo ko tëral moom la ñoo wax standards jumtuwaay boo gis boo xam ne defar neen ko wala mbéyteef boo gis bu génnee nga war koo jëfandikoo war naa wóor war naa sell te du la lor léegi nag pour loolu am àddina bi yëpp ku si nekk mu ngi ko doon xelaat waaye buñ toogee àddina yëpp ku si nekk ne lii laa sukkandiku ba mun a jot lii kii ne lii laa sukkandiku ba mun a jot lii si mbootaay àddina bi ñëpp buñ jokkooyee si leen déggoo am lu ñoo wax international standards yooyu nag réew yi yëpp si bokka léegi mun nga koo nationalize sa biir réew su ko defee jumtuwaay yooyu tamit nga mun a am yu wóor ok après man maa ngi door rek de ok let me just summarize 2 more 1 minute sometimes pour nga wax ko si wolof dina jël time tuuti nit ñi mun ko understand dafa technical trop li nga xam ne tamit amut woon ci réew mi li ñoo wax measurement system nattuwaay boo gis wala looy war a nata mu diis wala nattuwaay boo xam ne dafaa jël dara moom itamit li ngi sukkandikoo àddina bi yëpp suñ ne 1 kilo ñëpp si d'accord kilo boobu nag àddina bi ñi ko defeer muy standard bi war nga koo indi ci biir réew pour ñu mun a déggoo lu mooy ak loolu doo mun a jaay ak jëmbante loolu tamit amutoon
su ma la understandé mooy suñ ne saaku maalo 50 kilos la yéen ay saytu ngeen make sure ne 50 kilos moo fa nekk
waaw léegi
ndax
non ñaari mbir moo fa nekk
waaw
xam nga ki nga xam ne mooy bay maalo bi wala ki ko indi bitim réew bi ko indee ba pare peese waaye bi mu ko peesee si place am moom pour nga xam ne peese waay boobu dina natt bi wér Gambia Standards Bureau ñoo dee def lu ñoo wax calibration boobu mooy linkage bi maa wax di international measurement system waaye nguur gi tamit dafa taxawal mbootaay boo xam ne léegi si marché yi jaay diggante jaaykat bi ak jëndkat bi kanaay réglé ne boo ne lii benn litre la wala lii benn kilo la ndax mun na ko beneen mbootaay mooy def loolu parce que diggante jaaykat la ak jëndkat waaw mooy weights and measures waaw loolu amoon
léegi su ma demee jëndi essence ma ne gaa jaay la ma 50 litres naka laa ensure ne 50 litres bi loolu lañ dugal sama moto bi
ni nga xamee ne loolu war naa wér mooy ne nguur gi daf la protect yow maanaam nguur gi dafa jël sas boobu noonu moo tax mu jox doole weights and measures ñoom ñooy dem di seet te waxtu wi doo ñëw seet laajut pour nga wax leen ñu ñëw or not waaye ñun léegi fi ñu fa am dat linkage mooy ne ki nga xam ne mooy jaay si essence série bi moom lu waa wax na ko ne soo ne benn litre dafa war a mut benn litre léegi naka war a def ba machine am bi di sotti litre waxtu wi mu ko soxlaa ñun la moo oo ñu calibrate ko waaye nag ñi ñooy seet ne xam nga si diggante bi mun nga koo laal mun nga koo tampa mun ngaa sàcca so weights and measures mooy ñëw waxtu wu ko neexee teg natuwaayam natuwaay boobu tamit ñun ñoo ko réglé ak ñoom teg natuwaayam boo xam ne mun na 1 litre seet jërëjëf thank you
asalaamaaleykum askan bi man maay Basiru Njie maay jiite Gambia Competition ak Consumer Protection Commission suñ liggéey ñetta la benn bi mooy am nañ luwa buy seetu lu jongante si business yi nu ñoo compité boobu luwa boobu am nañ ko depuis 2007 def foog naa si West Africa yëpp Gambia ñooy first dëkka pour ñu am luwa bi ni Independent Competition Authority parce que soo ko seetloo ay dëkka yu bëri comme ay Nigeria ay 5 years ago nañ set up te ñu woon nañ fii sa study tour pour jàngal nu ñuy def luwa bi lu tax mu am solo mooy dëkka bi amut price control ba pare dañ bëgg a am free economy moo miin ne foog tamit mu am luwa buy seet naka na ñoo doxalee business yi duñ mun a ñëw pour am ay agreement yoo xam ne dafa lor askan bi wala benn business du mun a am benn façon doole boo xam ne tamit dafa lor askan bi comme di def ay jéego yoo xam ne yeneen business yi suñ bëggee dugga si marché bi sax di nga si mun a dugga so si loolu nañooy liggéey ba pare dañoo am nañ si competition bi dañ leen mën a def lu ñuy wax policy advice comme nguur bi suñ bëggee jël yenn fànn yoo xam ne dafa lor askan bi wala lor yenn business ñun suñ loi la pour mun nañoo xelal nguur bi te dañ koy def lu bari def suñ study xelal nguur bi ne comme loo leen bëgg a def nii wala loo leen def ba pare mu ngi am isi jafe-jafe yi nii daal ak dañooy def lu ñuy awee market studies foog naa si ak investigation when suñ amee ay complaint daal beneen bi mooy yëfi consumer yi mooy askan bi comme balaa lii consumer protection amoon na si ay loi yu bari comme di nga am ay pura am na ay comme waaye ñun suñ loi bi moo ñëw consolidate moo nekk pour ñun marché yëpp la comme complaint boo mën a am di nga mën a ñëw si commission bi parce que secteur régulateur yu bari comme soo demee complaint sax ñoom dinañ mën a fine business bi waaye yow jëndkat bi doo si mën a am dara ñun ñoo amee lu ñu wax consumer protection tribunal bi askan boo xam ne mun na am kenn def na la dara nga bëgg a suu business wala yooyu noonu da ngaa ñëw si ñun. ñun ñoo la mën a
daanaka daal ma dem si kapaak bi ma jënda moto mu ne ma ne moto bi garanti naa ko am na waranti baax na ma dawal ko benn fan ñaari fa moto bi yaaxu mu ne du ma delloo suma xaalis yéen laa ñëw ndax noonu la.
waaw yooyu dañoo gën a bari la sax yëfi delloo bagage parce que ñu bari dañoo da ngaa dem si bitik yu bari supermarket yi sax ñu ngi la wax bagage soo ko jëndee su rombee benn fan doo ko mën a delloo te ñu bari sax dañooy foog ne loi la soo yooyu dañ lay gën a am soo ñu koy def sensitisation di gën a.
loolu du loi mun naa koo delloo.
mun nga koo delloo su fekkee
ma dem Karaba Avenue si bitik ma jënd radio.
waaw
bu ees si carton. ma ñëw kër suba rek mu buloo.
waaw
mun naa koo delloo ñu delloo ma suma xaalis.
waaw mun nga koo delloo foofu jafe-jafe mi rek mooy tamit yéenay tamit lu ñu lay advice jëndkat yi tam mooy bala ngaa jënd bagage demal nga seet bitik yi nga seet lu la gënal parce que yéenay tam jëndkat yi lu ñuy def mooy bitik boo njëkk a gis nga jënd fa dara nga demaat gannaaw ëllëg nga gis bagage bu gën a yomba nga boo koo delloo ne bii dafa am problème parce que understand nga te loolu moom loi bi sax nangu ko moom moo tax dafaa ne consumer da nga war responsible bala nga jënd bagage seetal nga test ba nga loo xam loo bëgga waaye doo mën a de da ngaa delloo rek parce que da nga gis lu gën a yomb.
soo léegi yéen a dem protect consumers yi.
waaw
kam moo dem protect jaaykat yi nag.
jaaykat yi moo tax ma ne ñun suñ liggéey competition bi mooy protect jaaykat yi parce que jaaykat boo xam ne dafa def benn jéego boo xam ne dafa bloc ñeneen ñuy dugga si ñun ngay ñëw wala jaaykat yoo xam ne dañ ñëw complot pour sonal beneen business si ñun ngay ñëw wala jaaykat boo xam ne dafa am doole ba uppa ba nga xam ne nit yi suñ bëggee dugga sax mun naa wàññi prix am bi ba mu wàcca ba ñëpp génna yooyu ñëpp si ñun ngay ñëw.
waaw boo leer na dañu ñëwaat si yow.
ok
ñu dem to di final.
Assalamualaikum. Ndetom Usman Sanalti, Principal Labour Officer, Department of Labour. Ndeto responsible ta Public Employment Service la. Department of Labour ndeto responsible ta kaje ko dogudla momo la nyanto tara lori nyokana sosofa sosokana nyofa dokutio kana dogula nakari and dogula falan kana dokutio nakari. Ndola lok mom waldi. Na department sabal soteje kilindo wala mu labor inspection ti labor inspection wala nyindi ko na inspector kata wala kata murmuro la kata dogudlal kajo ko dogudla dogo loi melandi abe tamakan comme labor act dogo loi landi nyame abe tamaka nyama comme ka me compliance so wala ko okay do la falanka occupational safety and health monitor kajo ko dogudla mola health safety etara number one priority kajo ko min ko dogudla anyanta safe la because safety is number one. Whatever you do, safety you kumara bakere. Wala ko fenga. Andi to le falanka a make so kaje ko injuries compensation. Comme ni be do ko kono. Ibara su kono ibita do kudla, ifra do kudla do ko kono. Ijita do ko le be sela fo jani be ifra su kono. Ni accident se silo kan. Unto la ka process kaje ko ye compensate. Ito le falanka make so kaje ko dinu ka me challebo ka monitor do kudla kaje ko dinu kana do kudla me yalon ko ala sanjo mang sanji tandi seo si na department do so do ka make industrial
jandi beta ay be jam falaje ñi di nim kool akumata bakke nga kacha mi alon ka sango man sanji tandi seo si manyana ka do ko ke bo atulun ka apprenti de le dolbe sanji tandi folan ka fital de le sanji tandi saba alka mu ne ko ko to dum
ay yalla ka fungo bijele ka me light work bijele mais alon ko bad conditional flambo la because light work wala ñi do ka mari si do ko kenole but amanyana doku kela comme ko full db doku amanyana doku kela ko suto and amanyana doku kela conditional men fala ko is hazardous comme ko amon koy amon safe. So we'll be jail. So we'll make a light work allowed because what is in line with one of the ILO convention may alone could not ratify. Yeah. So ni nada industrial relation la wala mnyindu go ntola responsible complain olla. E doku la karofa ila boss mejo ya public holiday doku a mejo e nyanta lifo la balanta onda ay bay doku wala yaje ko ay bay nyama ni loi manta ntola ko complain olta an kaje ko o mata ni na resolve. Ni ma resolve no falang den na mata ni rifa industrial tribunal. Na unit do falang solo kame employment service wala nyinti ko ka doku til ni doku nyinal ke chake kame job matching maybe doku nyinolan ke register nka doku til falang mela solo doku la ko fal register ka je ko ke match nko ke nka fengo falang ke career guidance
aboko be ning lafta doku wala mina to yala nga faale munen tala mecco nga mo karang.
Exactly.
Ale mo nyine nyalo ko fondo sulan tele metro ala ka fundi nyoka.
Exactly.
Wala din kirabe mbulun ka molta do ko la. Ngana ale anko dem benyin sif mo nyin sif métier sifa nyi kan. Ala mo ala fina nyal ka wala ke.
Ngol ka and the service is free.
Okay, mo buka fenjoje.
No buka fenjoje.
Okay.
It's absolutely free, 100% free.
Wodron de pare da fo?
Hani flat daje.
Okay.
Nka fengo falanke career guidance and counseling because naje ko mi like dinul falambije ni ka karambungu bang so jama bije pour ka decision make ka ko lebulu so they need guidance do bije ka issue sol soto me ko they need guidance so ko falang guide and donc advisory service falanke because ko mo yakata dogudla aka problem so dogudla maybe ala ta resign na wala ta contrat ko terminer la bara ma idea so ba start la nyaadile so ko falang service ko provide wol falalie employees wol falang sometimes ikala fi reorganization kala ikala fi redundancy kala but malo loyal landi nyaadile and they have access to the loyal to so they can get guide and get advice based on what the labor law says.
Sabu ko bi nimbe du kala dulato ngado ke je sanji saba sanji fola sanji na wuta soma do yembay nganyanto so le fonde
nyanto so
finali ya prato le yamar munenta la nyantoti
exactly
wala ka wala ke
go advice service yeah
okay.
And will be free lady
okay
ka fungo fala monitor ka me labor mobility and labor migration. So coming sending currently Kalansino di mola mela
bawo nga na mola la time ota bakele minute killing drombol di la guy pala just 1 minute monen gapati alka moneke wrong then we go to the public now please.
Okay.
No I think already minister one about with some measures please yeah.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Dr. Nye Konto, Honorable Minister Trade Konto, and Nanyol Mem Babija, Ndato Mohamed Jawarlati, Senior Manager Investment Promotion and Facilitation, GAIPA. Yo, komi Minister for la Banki Ekononyame, GAIPA wolo Mansa Kunda la Bundati, membe loring Mansa Kunda Fang aning business la tema. Yo, ni salamu amuntan telo misalo ti Mansa Kunda aning business la tema. Na doku bulo abe fanna nalela. Follow all of investment promotion and facilitation. Ka make sure many yalan ko be pare in July la bring banko din fo men yalan ko bantalan kolom isi slow wala nyame purisina isi la business okay no banko kan yo flanya wala mi ko export komi safara fiol men yalan ke do kuja isi bono Gambia nyame kata bantala o bunda fana bije sabanya wala business ndil men yalan ko bulo mo ye ko be mbake nol fana ka do ko kala nin nanin jam wolom ka Gambia fon la flako wulendi santo pour nyin kamala business lali isi wakino nyame pour kana kela do ko kiyam yo nana da safaro la karola memo investment kamen ka wolom nyinti ko nka kidimandol kele komi kata bankol kantare anim banko fan kanjang ka mol wakilinde pour isi la kodo bondi ka dundi business o kuna ka do abe makoro kela pour ka banko dingta do kola an nyin kamala kana economy fanan ka iri wande yo kono Mansa Kunda kamen ko wala min ka jusnya bi fangala di business o la mesi wakilini no nka wala for physical incentives wo physical incentives mo monete wala mo follow ni be la do ku joran bandla na bantala kenati inyanta juti men jola poroto Mansa Kunda ko ayam fata wotole membe ta fo sanji lulu fo sanji sai yo nanata VAT wala import VAT value added tax o fana Mansa Kunda ka yam fo fanantole sabanya wala mun wala corporation tax e ka namo menjo ila profito kono fana Mansa Kunda ka yam fawdol nyimbe pour que sawarindi si wakili nyamen kala business o sawatindi banko ka munta nyino bunda tin kamenta man
abarka kumata bake before nga bunda la pour nyinin karo reke yale kuma fojang about the free trade zone in Soma Can we get the video to have a glimpse of it? Because it's very transformative. Abe Gambia economy falina back le pu banko dingo laja be mundo ko si falaje. Nga video nyi njube. Okay. I'll come for it.
National Development Plan emphasised the need of private sector development as the engine of growth. The Gambia government, having its ambitious plan of developing the Trans-Gambia Corridor, has initiated the development of trade infrastructure and special economic zone with the three major objectives: economic impact assessment of the Trans-Gambia Corridor, GIS-based spatial development plan, and corridor development investment plan. In line with the vision of developing the Trans-Gambia Corridor, a comprehensive GIS map is categorized into primary, secondary, tertiary, and extended catchment areas, which encompasses the entire Gambia, and ensuring balanced industrialization and economic development across the nation. The Trans-Gambia Corridor, a 26-kilometre stretch from Farafenni in the north to Masira in the south, crosses the Gambia River via the Senegambia Bridge, serving as a strategic trade link in the centre of the Gambia. The Special Economic Zone site is strategically located in Soma along the Trans-Gambia Corridor, on either side at 1.5 kilometres from the Masira border post, to leverage the existing social and commercial infrastructure. Parcel A comprises the agriculture and other manufacturing zones, featuring seamless compatibility and shared infrastructure, while Parcel B includes the social, commercial, community, training, and capacity building zones, with provisions for future development. The prioritised value chains and sectors for processing in the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone aligns well with the strategies, policies, and development plans of the Gambia's government and relevant line ministries, apart from consideration for import substitution and export enhancing activities. The prioritised sector for processing includes light engineering and construction material processing zone, cereals, pulses and oilseeds, fruits, vegetables and tubers, processing zone, agroforestry and other agro products, processing zone, livestock processing zone, general manufacturing zone, including apparel, automotive, chemical and pharma and others, fisheries processing zone, dairy products processing zone, specialised infrastructure, agricultural transformation centre, utility zone, non-processing zones. The zones within the special economic zone have been meticulously configured to leverage the Gambia's opportunities and core strengths. Inclusiveness is ensured with provisions for accommodating micro, mini, small, women entrepreneurs, first-generation promoters, medium enterprises, large-scale manufacturing industries, along with its ancillary byproduct manufacturing, value-added processing units. Various options ensured with plotted developments, one-time long lease or monthly rentals or ready-built, plug-and-play facilities and multi-tenanted buildings or PEBs, based on individual sector potential and preferences. The master plan offers a flexible and modular approach, adapting to the site's topography while ensuring ease of implementation, minimal environmental impact, and cost optimization during both the implementation and operational phases. The detailed components of the master plan are water treatment plant, overhead tank, logistics zone, truck maintenance depot and fuel station, light engineering and construction material processing zone, cereals, pulses and oil seeds processing zone. Specialised infrastructure. Fruits, vegetable and tubers processing zone. Agroforestry and other agro-products processing zone. Dairy products processing zone. General manufacturing zone and other industries zone. Livestock processing zone. Sewage treatment plant, solid waste management / summer storage tank. Agricultural Transformation Centre. Substation. Residential zone. Social and public amenities zone. Demo farms, training, research and development zone. Future expansion zone. Collection and pre-processing centres, fish aggregation centres are located at strategic locations to collect the produced commodities from the rural catchment areas, ensuring sustained supply of raw materials to the special economic zone in terms of quality and quantity. A GIS-based spatial development master plan for the primary influence zone of TGC is prepared, highlighting the proposed components and projects envisioned for development within the 50 by 26 kilometre stretch. The Spatial Development Master Plan considers the existing context, land suitability, connectivity, and environmentally sensitive areas. The plan is phased with an initial focus on economic development through the TGC SEZ as the anchor project, followed by social, commercial, and community development, and later the creation of tourism and eco-recreational zones alongside enabling infrastructure with an emphasis on sustainable transportation solutions, including the proposal of a second airport in the Gambia. The project aims to offer a progressive business environment with diverse, investor-friendly opportunities. Once the comprehensive Trans-Gambia Corridor Development Plan is put into action, it is anticipated to generate $606 million in annual transactions and create approximately 100,000 direct and indirect employment opportunities. Under the able leadership of the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, and Minister of Trade and Industry Honourable Babucarr Joof, the government of the Gambia is poised to implement this Trans-Gambia Corridor Development Project, aiming to drive industrialisation, economic transformation, enhancing food security, thereby creating job opportunities, empowering women and youth, marking a revolutionary step in the Gambia's growth journey. Come and join in this journey for creating the future Gambia.
Thank you. Wow, this is amazing. This is transformative. I've not seen anything like this in the sub-region. I don't think it exists.
You go to Togo, you go to Benin, you go to Ethiopia, Nigeria. Yeah, thank you, Doctor, for that very timely show of this. That's why I surrendered my salary to you. Yes, you will find it, the Jamnyajo concept is close to this. But you'll find the existing ones in Benin, in Togo, in Nigeria. They exist.
Okay.
Ethiopia. But that is why we need to be there.
Okay.
And that's why we are heading in that direction.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So apologies for taking most of your time. The public, we now open the floor for questions and answers. If we have anyone who has a question, we'll take 3 questions. We take 2 questions at a time. We have only 20 minutes. We'll take one from here and then one from there, and we'll swap later. Where's the mic? What's the question?
Thank you.
So introduce yourself and you ask the question.
All right, thank you very much. I am Lamin El Sayan. I'm the Information and Communications Minister, University of Gambia Students Union. And my question is directed to that man. Yeah, during your deliberation, you discussed something very important, especially the protection of children. And then you talked about sometimes children, when doctor asks, how do you ensure that children sometimes are not overused, as in apprentices who are very, very young. And then you had mentioned that light work is permissible. But I want to understand, how do you monitor this? Because if you look at the apprentice, sometimes 5, 10, 15, very, very young children. When you go up country, sometimes you see people in carpentry, in welding, and sometimes during school days, you see them doing this work. And these are children who are supposed to go to school. How do you ensure that you monitor monitor that they are not doing, they are just doing light work, but they are not being overworked? No child labor. Thank you.
Very much. One question from this end. Yes? Mr. Gumane, Sumare.
Assalamu alaikum. Nanyin karabeta kam Ntom Mohamed Sumare leti. Global Rainbow TV. Ntom Mohamed Sumare leti. Be Global Rainbow TV, online TV, mbole represent Kanjang. Na nyirin karabeta kam mumarta lebo, mungalon ko dokulal ani munialon ko lebo dokulal takang. Na korosro ya dinna ko na transport system oni. Funding ke jama kasarata, funding ke jama problem soto. Nga jelo ko ila funding ke ya be tembo munto, imanyang ke la amprantolti na motolto. Because niya jubibi ikadindu jele sanjitang. Abe moto kono 14 passengers or 18 passengers. Abe diamu kanyame na kebal kang abuka ke fente mungalon ko abete atale. So ale mun wale landi pour kaw nyato kontu natara ko ite mari man sanji tanin saisi immanyan ko do kusifake because abinna funding call batandi kanne.
Abarka bake. We'll come to you. Yes.
Okay, Baraka Bake. Start la menko child labor monitoring. Coming dollar inspection na boundary lesson. Na boundary lesson na inspection. So ninko child labor wala jindi ko kadinu ta ka blodo ko melan ko iba jolale andanga mansi ala sio mansi pour kata do ko wala. Banina apprenti wala karola because nya ko light work acceptable. Because for example like company dosi taraje melan ko ikadinu wolta but ko iki train as part of apprentice. So no wala accept na convention ni wala cover. So na loi fala wala cover. But amanko coming ko itebe morobe tabulu ye mota apprenti yala abe do abe apprenti ya keke nin karo nin tilo boda ya jo. So ndol bukol monitor. Wol monitor na control kono. Ba me na control kono wala nyindi ko imagine na dinno tala dogol melan ko ika karfa jole andung aman sanji tani seosi. Walando yata because dino le melan ko iba train kan do ko ni ba train kan mecho le because ni aje conventional accept because kay somja molje abeta kan school anda mecho falan karanka so ni ko rek ni moma etini soto amanya hani do ko fonkela o amanya na mecho kela iba jele ba ma terdent la because aba karanka da mecho falan karanka ani ni falan ba ma ko la sa ba jaba expertise soto la abe fonko men karanka abe ira men karanka but ika jo apparently on manke ko mun men ni ko fale ke jo ibe mecho le nika andu na tara fala melan ko na alfal ikambo sika adi mola ka fa akarandi mechola gansa so it is a lot of for say hani ikana di mola ka kandi sa jiba ba karala mechola because inte wan tata kandi no la mechola so wala na ni na ka fale fengo londi wala ka mene ko recognition of prior learning wala na sa no soto yaji melan ko ko kaje ko mul fala kam through that meje karante ika qualify ika expertise soto bari bu ka compete no because ni company lo to jambi ni ko la sulata maçon la sulata capital la neither manta GTTI or manta this training school auto. You cannot compete because certificate table. But you have the expertise, you have the skill, you can do the work.
Yeah,
wala the knowledge so ba jewol falan kan naka ika test and then the certificate based on your level of expertise you can also compete. Apprenticeship on ka abol nyama because mille alon ko be karfa do ko la ko le monitor. Yeah, so abol nyama.
Abarka fulan jango dum angamare abi ansanyola la kilinke. Yes, second round of questions, one from this end, one from that end.
Yes, thank you very much, and Mr. Doctor. My name is Mamadi Jallo from Musa Mall Online TV. My question goes straight to the Minister of Trade, Babucarr, Joof. Thank you for your deliberation. It's definitely wonderful. But let's come into the aspect of pricing in this country. You can see the same street. You know, you go to this shop, somebody is selling one bag of rice of 1,200 or 1,700 or 2,000. You go to the next shop, you have different prices. What is your ministry doing to ensure that we have the same price when it comes to bag of rice and other communities?
Thank you.
Secondly, my second question goes to Mr. Sane. Mr. Sane. Ila kuma kango iko itila department I Marta komi mo mu yalan ko ikata do ko la Mansa Kunda. Ando ngaje mo jama bija ikata do ko la Mansa Kunda fang. 8 after 8 9 o'clock ka futaji. Janni 3 o'clock ita so ko. What is your department doing to make sure
Abarka, we come on this side. By the way, we have question clean on ala malo mana fo ning yemu nek fo ngebule question fula nyining. Okay, one more. Here, this side.
All right. Good evening. Yes, my question goes to the
name.
Yes, I am as Career and Guideline Center to offer to the school students that might complete schools. But I have a concern, and that is knowing fully that the education is not in line with the job requirements. How do you ensure that the Career and Guideline Center that you will offer to the students would be better?
Maybe I should use my teacher voice. Okay. The gentleman did not indicate what language he wanted my answer in. So can I do it in English because you asked me in English? I should have been deliberate and answer in Serer and give you an answer you will not understand. Thank you very much for this question. I think this is the most asked question. You know, the frequently asked questions. This is our most frequently asked question. You see, pricing is very, very interesting. In my statement, I mentioned the effort we put in collecting weekly stock levels to ensure, in the first place, that we do not have a shortage. What economists teach us is that whenever you have a shortage of supply, you have a problem, because there will be competition for that supply and prices will fly. So we monitor to ensure that stock levels are good. And where we are scared that a particular commodity among the essential ones is running low, we do our things behind the scenes to ensure that those commodities at sea, floating cargo, that we require in the market that is about to go short are given priority to BAT. One of the things that we do, we work with the Ports Authority, we work with the GRA, Ministry of Finance, to ensure that that particular commodity which is running out is replenished quickly. Even if other vessels arrive before them, when they arrive, we give them priority batting so that the market does not run low on that particular product. But coming to the pricing aspect, how is this connected to price? The availability of products, you said rice, a bag of rice. Once it is available in sufficient supplies, they'll now compete for the resources in the pockets of the consumers. That gives, and that's why we chose this policy, the liberal approach to market regulation. We allow the traders, the vendors themselves, to compete for the money in your pockets. And as a result, it's now assumed, and we are right in our assumption, that you are rational people. That when you go to a shop and realize that it is $5 above the previous shop, you will not buy from that one. You go to the shop that is selling the same product $5 lower. So this approach to price regulation is voluntary, but it's been working. Now, for us to police the streets and ensure that Momodu Wuri Jallo at the junction is selling at the same price that Momodu Julde Jallo is selling at the other junction is going to be difficult. We cannot police the streets. But we leave that with the consumers to apply this theory that where I notice that this particular shop always sells $5 above the other, I don't go there anymore. Let me go to the one that is selling the same product less than this one. Then that one will be conditioned to match the other price, and then the consumer benefits.
Thank you very much.
It makes sense to
That answers the question. What's the second question?
The second one is about lateness, and that is for the public service, I'm afraid. Usman the Labor Department does not regulate when people get to work and when they leave. That is for the public service. Thank you.
Thank you. Then answer the gentleman's question about career guidance.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for answering that question for me. Because the Labor Act doesn't cover the civil service, so they are not under our purview. With regards to the career guidance and counseling, this is one of the services that is provided at the Employment Service Unit. The essence of career guidance and counseling is to help young people in choosing their careers. You just guide them because they need the information in order to choose a career. Because if you don't know the information, it will be difficult for you to choose a career because you don't know what is happening in the labor market. Because you have to know the demand and supply of labor in the market in order to choose a career, that will help you tomorrow. Because you are choosing a career as a life path. So if you choose a wrong career, at the end it will disturb you. And this is why we have a lot of skill mismatch. That is happening, both horizontal and vertical, because people are studying areas that are not available in the market, or that the chance of securing a job after that completion of that study is very slim. And they need this guidance, they need this counseling, for them to choose a good career path. So this is what we are doing, not about, for example, like at the university.
So do you help them develop CVs as well?
Yes, as part of the soft skills training, we do how to develop CV, how to prepare them for interview, how to do a cover letter. So we prepare them for the labor market.
Thank you.
So all this is done as part of our career guidance.
We'll take the final round of questions, one here and one there, and that's it. That's it for today. Yes. Go on.
Good evening. I am Ansumana Koli, a student from the University of the Gambia. My question goes to the Honorable Minister regarding the circular migration. My question is, for the purpose of transparency, how many people will be benefiting for this first phase of the circular migration, and what are the benefits and security guarantees?
To Spain?
Yes.
Okay, second to last question and final one, and then we give the chance for the final responses. Okay. Yes, go on.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Suma turbi Al-Hassan Sidibe ku nekk di liggéey akhbar Gambia bil Arabiya. Suma laajte bi mooy Honorable Minister suñ gisee ne yéen seen ministry bi ñeneenti bànqaas moo fa nekk. Léegi ñeneenti bànqaas yooyu noonu boole ko yëpp mu nekk si benn ministry. Ndax loolu noonu nekkul di isi ay tolof si seen liggéey yi comme nu mu war a demee daal.
Final question from that end. No, only one we can take from that end. Final question. We have about 7 minutes to leave this place. Let's go on quickly.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm Fode Msila from the University of the Gambia. This is a follow-up question to the response made by the Honorable Minister concerning liberalizing the market, assuming that the consumers are rational people. That is only valid, perhaps, if there is no such relationship shared by the vendors, because many a times you realize that these vendors, they connived under the carpet or in the background to agree in terms of what price is there to sell their commodities to the consumers. So in that instance, it would be very difficult for us to use our rationality in order to buy from the sellers that we believe, have the appropriate prices. Thank you.
Is that a statement or a question? It looks more like a statement. It's all right. No, you've already asked me a statement. That's it. That's fine. We'll give you a chance to answer now. We have about 3 minutes, 4 minutes to round up. And yes, please. So Haruna is on my neck.
I will love to give the third question to the head of the Competition Commission because their act covers connivance. He will deal with that. The size of the ministry, the president has... Oh, okay. Wow, ma jema turn to see walu ministry bi nimreye. So sete ministry si Gambia yep. Buneka nyatala nyenent jirom. So buge tasare te ministry buneka lifaneka muneka tahawal bopam. Dinga ega jirom fuki ministry. Te lolu choli dina gena bari. Why president mo am authority, mo am momla constitution bi jox dole. Pour mu seet yan département la war a mun a boole si benn kër mu jox kër googu borom so lu mu bëri nekkul ne dañoo complain sax ndaxam mu ngi dox dañ bëggoon a wone rek ne en bi dafa yaatu so foog waxtaan bi yaatu waaye mu ngi dox because bu nekka man amewuma yëpp permanent secretary laa amee maa ngi amee ñetti deputy permanent secretary Deputy Permanent Secretary Sanyang, Administration. Deputy Permanent Secretary Damfa, Mungfi, Industry. Deputy Permanent Secretary Jamme, Mungini, Moneka Trade and Regional Integration. So, nyom nyeta, nyoy dimele Permanent Secretary. So, NBA tegut suma bopabi. Amna dang mayirim. Nyom ajapale. Benen bi moy the circular migration, lightena. Oh, that one was in English. The benefits are numerous. I have said in fora that these circular migration agreements and bilateral agreements we are signing are not an alternative to our strategy as a ministry to create employment or to facilitate employment creation. We have so many things that we have in our sleeves, and we'll be sharing them with the public very soon. But on this particular one, the benefits are numerous. We want to reduce the risk that young people are taking using irregular pathways to find themselves in countries of their choice. We cannot stop them from going. Because we cannot stop them, the ministry came with this formula to make it legal to go. That gives them the opportunity to recourse to, if you like, arbitration, guidance, support, so that when they have challenges, the government steps in through the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And in fact, I'm happy to acknowledge his presence. Yes, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Gambians abroad is here. We are working with his team very closely to ensure that we give these people the opportunity. The 57 I said are in Saudi. They are with my director of employment in the same WhatsApp group. Every evening, some of them have my number, they are sending me feedback at night. That is different from somebody who went clandestinely and is sold as a slave. Our girls are safe. They are talking to us, we are talking to them, the embassy is monitoring them.
Honorable.
So that's the advantage.
Wow. So you final, I think last one, Rek, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay,
and then
thank you very much.
Just 1 minute, Rek.
Okay, sure.
1 minute.
So just to say that the connivance is called price fixing. It's the biggest violation of the Competition Act. It's difficult to prove because you will have to have communication evidence. So we always urge people, if you have suspicions, you don't even have to have much, but if you have suspicions, always report to the commission. I think just about a year ago, we had a suspicion in Lamin. On social media, we had it. On that same day, on that Sunday, we did investigations. We found it not to be true. But the general public, anywhere you feel that it's happening, you can just give us a call and then we will be there to try and resolve it. Thank you.
It also has a role to play. Whenever you suspect connivance anywhere, you can inform the Competition Commission. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let me acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Gambians Abroad, Honorable Mamadou Tangara, who is here with us today. We thank you for coming. Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, Honorable Babucarr Joof, thank you very much, you and your entire team, for coming and doing a fantastic job. You've been outstanding. Thank you very much, members of the press, the media, public official, Minister of Information, Minister of Trade, the public, those watching at home and abroad, thank you very much. By benen yon suñ dajé waté in 2 weeks time dañu minister bi nga xamné mo responsible si walu jawaji ñu ko environment minister Baltento Lamba Jela bi sewota minister bi jambi ka fa minister of Gamenol mi yalla ko bantala bankun kan abidjan kana bengo mabi minister Baltento Lamba Jela ba ke fang bi ngalom bi ko senyata le munatina